Welcome, everyone, to the Average Joe Show. It's me, Amy.
And I am Sam.
Hello.
And we are recording once again I don't know, it's been a long time since we've recorded. I think last time we actually recorded was that the recap of last month? Because did we record the other episode before that? No.
No, last one we did
was the one with Nerd Switch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was like a month ago.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. And it's been a new month. And
there's quite a few new movies. We
yeah.
didn't get to all of them this month. But also, there's going to be a lot of the recaps. Just watching whatever we watched that was new.
Yeah. And we're not going to watch everything just because it's out.
Yeah. We don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
And kind of the money, but it's fine.
Yeah.
$10 a ticket. Even more than that is...
Yeah, when you're spending like $30 for yourself going to the movie theater, it's not that fun.
Yeah.
Like, because I buy my tickets in advance, so that it feels like I'm spending less money when we're at the theater.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got to buy your concessions, my Bunch of Crunch, my go-to snack.
Your full price Bunch of Crunch.
Yeah.
Because you don't get the, 40% off from when I worked there, or when either of us worked there.
Yeah. But you know what there is? There is something called...
The dollar store.
Yeah. The dollar store has your candies.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if we planned more in advance, we could have done that. I think we've only done it once since we've done these.
Yeah. Which is funny. So today, we are talking about a few movies. We're going to talk about Mission Impossible, what is it, 7? Did we figure out that it was 7?
I think it was 7, yeah.
Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Part 1.
Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
Oppenheimer.
Barbenheimer?
Yep. And Haunted Mansion.
Oh, yeah. I would like to say I am wearing a Barbenheimer shirt.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
you got the notorious
and now I'm become Death, Destroyer of Worlds, in Barbie font.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's pretty good.
I love it. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
This is like the second I guess just on clothing. Like this is like my favorite like adult purchase that I've made with clothing. The first one is my Bloodborne shirt. This one's number 2.
When your adult purchases are t-shirts.
Yeah.
Okay. Today we went to Splash.
Mm-hmm.
And I got, what's it called? It was a splash of sunshine?
Something like that. I know sunshine's in it.
Yeah, it was the splash of sunshine, according to this picture I took.
Nice.
It has Mountain Dew, pineapple, orange, and coconut cream.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
Nice. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
I got a second wife. It's Mountain Dew, mango, and orange.
Yeah.
I like how you showed me not the one that I got. Oh, I was looking at that.
You were looking at the Charlie, which is Pepsi Cherry Vanilla Creamer.
Mm-hmm.
Pepsi with cherry, with vanilla and creamer.
Yeah.
Not vanilla creamer or cherry Pepsi.
Wow.
Okay. Also, let's put it out there. Hayden's not feeling good today, so he's not with us.
Yeah.
So. And
he's not dead. He's just not here.
Yeah.
I guess we can just get started and talk about like the synopsis. We're gonna go in order of like when they came out. Yeah.
So let's start with Mission Impossible.
Yeah, baby.
So, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 is the 7th movie that's coming out in the Mission Impossible series. and Ethan Hunt is back. He's back and better than ever. Actually, I
Is
don't
he?
know. No,
Is
no.
he better than ever? I
He's
don't think
just
so.
back. He's back, and his back is hurting, and he flies through a window and drop kicks a guy outside of the other window.
Crashes into a train.
Yeah, drives off a mountain.
Oof.
But yeah, this movie is like, okay, this movie was weird because I watched this before I get into the breakdown of the synopsis, a brief synopsis. I watched this movie like, we watched this at like 10, which is not
Yeah, we went to like,
crazy
the
late.
latest showing. Yeah.
It's not like crazy late for a movie for me,
Mhm.
but I also watched another movie with my cousin. I watched Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, like right before.
Yeah,
Like an hour before
Yeah.
we watched this one.
Yeah, so I was just sort of out of it,
Mhm.
but I still remember the story. So here's what.
I sat there like before the movie. I was like, "Oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to go." Because I remember before the movie, I was like, "Sam, are you sure you want to go? You did just watch a movie. Are you sure?" And you were like, "Yeah, let's go." And I was like, "Shoot."
I got played. So yeah, if you hear me randomly mention like Miles Morales or like what's his name, Miguel O'Hara,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not referencing that movie. It's not Mission Impossible. That's Spider-Verse.
When your Mission Impossible review turns into a second Spider-Verse review.
When Tom Cruise meets with all of his other action hero, like
One of
it's
them
the
is
Tom.
Ben Stiller.
Shout out to Ben Stiller when he was doing like, I don't know if it was SNL or if it was just like an ad campaign like of him being Tom Cruise's stunt double.
Finish each other's sentences.
He's like, we don't finish each other's sentences. And it's like they both laugh at each other, but it's like
So
Ben Stiller's like
funny.
making fun of his laugh. Like he's making fun of Tom Cruise's laugh, but they are like laughing at each other. It's so good.
I love it so much.
Okay, let's get into it. Whoa. The
The
AC,
air
the AC
turned
went
off.
out.
This is gonna be a weird edit.
Yeah, this is gonna be good. So AC might go in and out throughout this, like it used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ethan Hunt is back. He is still like accepting missions from the Is it MIF? The Mission
I thought it was
Impossible
MI6.
Foundation. No, MI6 is the British
Oh.
intelligence. I think it's
I don't
MIF.
know.
I don't know.
CIA,
No,
FBI.
it's its own thing.
Oh.
The Mission Impossible, like I think it's Mission Impossible Foundation or faction or something.
That's what the. Okay. Also, I've only seen one other Mission Impossible movie, and it was Fallout, and I just watched it for Henry Cavill. So I know nothing about the other movies.
Okay.
But it was also a funny jump of like just going from, yeah, we gotta stop this bomb to this one where it's like, whoa, AI.
Yeah.
Like, how did we get here?
Well, okay. So the movie is like, I don't know. I feel like these movies just have different things. Like, actually, never mind. There's always like a bomb, I think, in every single one.
Yeah, this one had a bomb in it.
Did it? Oh yeah, it did have a bomb. Okay.
It did, but then it didn't.
Okay, let's just get into it.
Yeah.
So Ethan Hunt, he just accepted a mission to from a Grubhub dude, and
I was like, what?
yeah,
I got so confused, but I think that's when I walked out.
it was like literally at the beginning where it's just like, if you so choose to accept this mission or whatever.
Yeah, like their little secret code.
But like the guy like walks in to this like abandoned building, and he looks like he's a Grubhub dude, and then come to find out he's just delivering this mission to Tom Cruise.
I love that.
But yeah, it's basically he's assigned this mission to go find this secret key, and that has like two parts.
I really like the look of the key. It's like taking two house keys, but then you like slot them together, so it like makes like a cross kind of look.
Yeah.
Actually, that's probably not a good.
It's
like,
more of an X.
Yeah.
It's a really long X.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go, like, he's assigned this mission to go find this key, but the person who has the key is somebody who he used to work with. I can't remember her name. She's like not a love interest.
Is it?
I can't remember.
Ilsa? I feel like it's Elsa because I sat there or like.
Was it Elena?
I think you're thinking of Uncharted with that
No,
one because I almost said that and then I was like, no.
Give me like 15 seconds.
I think it is Ilsa. Because I remember sitting there because she's also in Fallout and I was like, just call her Elsa. Just accept it. Do it. Please.
Oh, yeah. Is that Isla? Isla Faust? Ilsa Faust?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they call her Ilsa.
Yeah.
Don't mind me just getting cozy.
Yeah. So he's got to pick up that key from her.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's two halves, so she has one.
She has one, and they don't know where the other half is.
Mm-hmm.
And so they pick up the key. Elsa supposedly dies. She gets shot, and then they go to drop it off at he goes to like drop it off and give it to the Mission Impossible Society. I can't remember whatever the group is called.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes like Tom Cruise is like, hey, this thing is associated with AI. I don't like it. Because he looked more into like what happened to it, and it shows like, oh yeah, it showed out at the beginning the submarine like mission, and they saw that
the Russians have it.
Yeah, the Russians have it, and they saw this like enemy submarine, so they shot at it.
Because they're shooting at them.
Mm-hmm. Come to find out, something was messed. Like, there was
nothing.
Yeah,
there was no one.
The radar showed it had the other submarine disappear and all the missiles, and then all of a sudden the missile that they launched turns around and blows them up, and it's pretty wild. But yeah, then flashback to where we are now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be going between Ethan Hunt and Tom Cruise. They're the same person, but
if you didn't know.
Yeah. So Ethan Hunt, he's like, I've looked into what this is. I don't trust it, and I think what the U.S. government's gonna use it for is just to use it to control this AI. You want to control this AI to have it help in like warfare. I just want to destroy it because it can't be trusted.
Yeah.
And so he basically does a double middle finger to the U.S. government and leaves. And so now the U.S. government, we're back with the AC. Then the U.S. government is back, and not back. The U.S. government is, they're back. They left.
Tom Cruise, he's back. U.S. government, they're back.
So they're up against Ethan Hunt. Ethan Hunt is up against the U.S. government. Yeah. And it has one of my favorite characters as part of that like CIA group, and it's great.
Who is it?
Just that. There's that main duo, the guy with the swoopy hair in the back, and he's just like, Ethan Hunt. He's an emissary of hell. And he's just like out. He's like I
won't stop until I find him.
And you do not want to hold this man, like you do not want to apprehend him. You want to kill him. You want to, and when you get close to him, you stab him with a like vampire like spike or whatever you call it.
A wooden stake.
Yeah, a wooden stake is just to make sure he's dead. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like his whole monologue was unnecessary but so good. But yeah. He finds out that well, you find out that secretly Ilsa.
Mm-hmm.
Isla, Ilsa, same thing. I'm gonna call her Faust. Faust is a name that I know.
You know for sure that's her name.
Yeah.
You know how to say it.
Her name is Faust. Faust is still alive. She covered herself up, or she got her death covered up, so the government thinks she's dead. But Tom Cruise and Faust are like, "We're alive, baby."
Ooh.
Yeah. So Ethan and Faust are back together with Benji and Luther. Benji is Simon Pegg. Luther is Ving Rhames. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's supposed to be like somebody meeting up to buy the key. The other half, like somebody wants to buy the key from Faust because Faust was going to sell that key to this buyer.
Yeah.
The buyer, I'm pretty sure, was supposed to be. Was it supposed to be the White Widow lady, or was it supposed to be the Gabriel guy?
No, because Gabriel killed him.
Oh yeah, Gabriel did kill the guy who was buying from it.
I can't remember if he got the key, because before you find out that the guy that was buying the key, there's a new lady in town named Grace.
Oh, Grace. I forgot about Grace.
Grace. Yeah, because both of us.
Grace.
Yeah, the whole movie we're both like, oh, Grace. She's just like a thief character. She pickpockets the guy and takes the key. And it throws off Ethan because he's like, yeah, I'm following the guy. And Simon Pegg's like, you're going the wrong way. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
So
yeah, she has no idea what she just took. So she's just like, yeah, I got some stuff. Pretty sick, dude.
Yeah.
And then,
there's also, there's this silver fox old man who brought in this briefcase. And you never see him again. Come to find out, that briefcase has a bomb in it. Luther and Simon Pegg are like, yo, there's a bomb in here. But we can't tell Tom Cruise because if Tom Cruise knows, it jeopardizes the mission for some reason. So Simon Pegg's like, I'm Benji. My thing is defusing bombs, so I'm going to go defuse this bomb.
I can do it.
Yeah. Which I sort of liked. I don't remember, like, Benji's always been like the guy behind the chair, or like, he's always like he's not running around.
Yeah.
I feel like he's either the getaway driver, or like he's like the in between of Tom Cruise and Luther.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he runs around, and Luther's is navigating him through there.
Yeah, he's in charge of doing both of them.
Also at the same time, the government is like, Ethan Hunt, he's in this building.
We know it.
Yeah.
And they've been duping them by like making the cameras look like it's Tom Cruise with some people.
Yeah.
And it's not.
And the Mission Impossible movies, they just love their facial, like, their face change technology, and it's great.
Yeah.
Like, their disguises are really fun. Like, I always get pumped whenever like Tom Cruise pulls off his mask and it's him. It's like, it's always fun. But the last couple movies, they've been faulty. Like Fallout, they destroy it in the bathroom fight.
Oh yeah, and then in this one, it stops working.
Yeah, it shorts out or something.
Yeah. I forgot that it breaks in Fallout.
Yeah, because Henry Cavill's like, I'm a big boy. Just slaps the Asian man into the stall.
Oof.
And it's like, how are you supposed to use it now? He's like, I don't know. I'm Henry Cavill.
I'm just supposed to play big man that's not that smart, but actually, I was a bad guy the whole time. And it was part of the plan, I promise.
Yeah. But yeah. Basically what happens is, as everybody's running around doing all this stuff, Simon Pegg, he tries to like defuse the bomb, but like the bomb is like one of those slide, like you have to rotate like these letters to make like it's like a hex code thing. I want to
Yeah.
call it a hex code.
It's like a
Like there's letters on this like octagon looking thing,
yeah.
and
It's
you
kind
gotta
of like a
rotate
key.
it so like
It's like a key lock that like where you slide the numbers, but it's like letters instead.
yeah.
It's like one of those.
But for some reason, it's like you have to answer a prompt, and it's more vocal. Then it changes to
Mhm.
like you have to answer like 5 riddles or however many riddles, and it like
Yeah, I was gonna
moves the letter
say
to like spots.
it feels very the Batman Riddler kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's I thought this part was interesting just because it like diffusing bombs are fun, but
It's also,
always
like, a new thing.
yeah, it's different from being like, well, you gotta cut this wire, and
Is
like
it the red one or the blue one? I don't know.
yeah,
And it's different
not
with
like,
every movie, so I won't even know.
well, like in like when you have bomb sequences and you're like cutting them up, like when you have a bomb sequence and the only way to defuse a bomb is by cutting the wire, it's I don't know. I feel like I'm just so detached from it because I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I don't know how bombs really work other than it's wired up and you need to cut the right bomb.
Yeah.
And if you
Like
cut the wrong wire, you blow up the city. And if you cut the right wire, it diffuses.
yeah,
But
like the
in
only
this
the only interesting thing like when there's something like that was with Fallout one before this where like the very end is like a big chase scene where like Henry Cavill has like the
Oh, he has the detonator.
yeah, and like it's just a big chase of like trying to get the detonator back where it's like them in the helicopters and then oh now they're on a cliffside and oh Henry Cavill you fell down no my boy he's gone and then yeah
Mm.
and it was like very last second I watched that movie by myself in the theater and I was very tense through that whole part. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah. So the bomb sequence that's taken care or well as the riddles are solved it's more like personal questions of like what matters to you most Benji and it's like my friends and it's like what like it's like personal information
yeah.
and he's like
What's your social security
yeah
number?
well like it was like personal stuff that like that only Benji would know or like sometimes it was like riddles and it was like but it like come to find out it's the AI that put the bomb there but there was actually no bomb there was an explosive there was nothing in there it was just a thing to distract everybody
Yeah.
and then Tom Cruise also at the same point so we're done with the bomb sequence we'll do the Tom Cruise portion. Tom Cruise is like yo lady you stole from this you don't know what you're dealing with and she's like I was supposed to steal this and then give it to a buyer or like sell it to a buyer in a place that I can't tell you and he's like oh
I
okay.
wonder if she was like if she was part of the White Widow stuff.
She was supposed to sell it to the White Widow
oh, okay.
originally I'm pretty sure but I don't know what the deal with the other dude was but we don't need to worry about it.
He was probably also just a government.
He was probably could have been a different like government power person but yeah.
Anyways.
So they're running around and he's like we need to find this buyer and we're gonna follow him and we're gonna take him down because you don't know what you're messing with here and she's like no I'm a thief all I know is that there's money I know what I'm getting into I'm gonna be rich and then so they're running
also
around.
she's played by Peggy Carter.
Yeah, whoever plays Peggy Carter. Haley Atwell? Yeah, Haley Atwell.
I don't know.
But she's great in this movie.
Yeah, I really liked her, even though I've only seen her in 2 things.
Yeah.
But I really like her in this.
But yeah, they're running around, and then Tom Cruise sees Gabriel. Who's Gabriel?
I don't know.
He looks like a guy who's from the previous movies. Like, he was set up like he was totally from the previous movies. So I'm like, oh, I haven't seen Mission Impossible. Like, I don't remember Mission Impossible 2 very well, so I could see this happening. in this movie. But then after doing some research, it was like, yeah, he was a completely new character in this movie.
Oh, nice.
Because his whole deal is that he killed a girl that Tom Cruise was close to, because that's what Tom Cruise does. He's close to women.
You know, that's just how it be sometimes.
And so, yeah.
Well, it's funny because just watching Fallout, that's how I felt with Ilsa. Because, like, they show her and she's like, yeah, we had a past. And, like, there was another lady where it was like, oh, yeah, we had a past too, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I'm like, I sat there and I was like, I should have this information, but I don't, but it's fine because I don't care.
Well, the lady at the end of the movie, like not Faust, but the other lady in Fallout, that's like, they were like lovers in like the third movie.
Oh, okay.
And then they had to split up because it was too dangerous, but then they got married in Fallout, but she's not in this movie, and so it's like super weird.
They did get married. What the heck?
Yeah, and then she's not in this movie, but he's like super handsy with like Faust at like some points. I'm like, are they a thing?
And with Grace too.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like him and Grace are
hate
super
it.
flirty.
I know, and I don't like it.
I don't know what the heck is happening.
So, but yeah, to continue on, Gabe, I'm gonna call him Gabe because I think it's funny.
Gibby! I know I just thought of that just immediately.
Yeah.
Just Gibby just...
But it's Tom Cruise.
No,
Tom
it's
Cruise
Gabriel.
It's Gabriel's face on Gibby, but he's like at the end of the... Okay, well, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So he like randomly... So Gabe is like in the airport. Tom Cruise sees Gabe and is just like... and then gets in like PTSD mode. He's like, we gotta get out of here. We've been compromised. And then so he needs to tell... Like he tells Luther and Benji to be like, get out of here. We'll rendezvous somewhere else. This mission's done. We're not doing this anymore. And then Haley Atwell is like...
Grace gets away.
Yeah,
Does
Grace,
she have the key?
Yeah, she has the key.
Oh, yeah, because he gave her, like, a lighter. Or, like...
Like, some sort of thing.
I think, like, he pickpockets her and, like, replaces the key with a lighter.
Yeah.
And then she does the same thing to him.
Yeah, they pickpocket each other back and they do close-up magic to each other.
That's what I thought of, too.
Yeah.
Just thinking of Ant-Man being like, yeah, I also learned close-up magic. And the guy being like, how'd you do that?
Yeah. But
yeah, she gets on a plane to, I think, Italy.
yeah. Is it Italy or Madrid? Italy or Spain? I don't know.
Yeah, it was Madrid because they go to Rome when they go to White Widow.
No, they're in Rome when they're driving around.
There's a lot of car chase, like there's a lot of chase scenes.
No, so they get there. No, they're in Italy. They're in Italy.
Yeah. Okay.
But she gets away from Tom Cruise. She flies on a plane, flirts it up with a dude, gives her the key,
Places the key on him.
Yeah, puts the key on him, and is just like, I need to meet up with you. I'll meet up with you for a date. Guy looks super like desperate, and he's just like, oh, this girl's in love with me.
Why she loves me.
Yeah. So, but you never see them interact again.
That's what I was thinking. I was
So
like,
they must have done it like the night, or like
After.
out of scene or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Anyways.
Grace gets arrested by the government and is like, yo.
You have 50 passports.
Yeah.
They all have different names.
Yeah. Who are you really? And she's like, I'm Haley Atwell.
I'm just a teacher. I'm here for fun.
Yeah.
I think that's what she says.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot that she said that she's a teacher.
I'm just a preschool teacher. I promise.
Preschool this and just text her.
Oh my gosh.
But it's like, oh, don't worry. The government's like, yo, don't worry.
Your lawyer's here.
Your lawyer's
and she's
here.
like,
She's
my
like-
what?
And then they go in this library. Tom Cruise is like, "Bon voyage, fellas," and the guys are like, "Bon voyage, Tom Cruise," and then they leave.
And then she's like, "Shoot, I promise I'm not a preschool teacher."
Yeah. They have a rundown of what happened, and then Gabe is like, "Hey, I'm here, baby." Government's like, "I'm also here, baby."
And then also Mantis is like, "I'm here, baby."
Yeah.
And I have a big car, and I'm a menace.
Yeah.
And I love her in this movie.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
this whole car chase scene is so good.
Yeah.
Because she's
so-
just in this big, like, Hummer.
Yeah.
And just mowing down people. It's so good.
Well, first they're like driving around, so they leave this library just to go.
Are they handcuffed together at this point, or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
So they like go drive this car, like they run away. She takes a police car. He takes a police motorcycle. They're chasing each other. Then they get cornered by the U.S. government and the European government. And they're like, "You're going to jail," and
then the U.S. government is
like-
also like, "You're going to jail."
Yeah. and then Mantis is like, "You're going to hell."
You're going to die.
Yeah. So she comes in, starts just taking out the French government. Not French. Wow.
They're in Madrid, in Italy, with the French government.
So they're doing that. They're taking on Europe.
Apparently.
Yeah. Oh, I said French because Mantis's character is named Paris.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they have a whole car chase sequence, and that one was fun because it like was motorcycle car. Then they run away in a different car. Car gets totaled because of Mantis. They hop
Thanks.
in the no. They switch cars so they
don't recognize it.
Yeah.
And then they get like the worst car ever,
a
which
Fiat
is just
500, baby.
nah, dude. It's Mr. Bean's car.
Which is a Fiat 500, baby.
It's so good.
But like
I
during
love-
all that, before they like got away from the U.S. government or whatever, U.S. government monologue man was just like, "You're coming with me. You're under arrest," and just puts a handcuff on Haley Atwell or on Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise puts the other one on Haley Atwell. They run away in the car, or they get in the car. Then she's like, "I'm bad at driving for some reason." Then
I
they
know,
switch spots.
Yeah. The whole time she's just terrible at driving, which I sat there and I was like, why were you trying to run away in a car then, especially in a police car?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to be so ballsy to use a police car to run away in, like, you'd think that they would be good at driving. Like, I sit here like, I would have taken, like, a motorcycle or a different car, not a police car.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Like,
Yeah, but I do like that kind of thing where it's like, not everyone's going to be a really good driver, knows how to get away.
yeah. Because she never did like getaway stuff. She was just like
She's
in,
just a thief.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she just like walked in, stole the thing, walked out. Never
Yeah.
really like got away by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Um,
But it was interesting because Tom Cruise, I can't remember if you said that Tom Cruise and her got handcuffed together, so then she wouldn't leave him. But how they handcuffed each other is like if Tom Cruise was sitting in like the passenger seat and she's sitting in the driver's seat,
yeah.
those arms that are like closer together are handcuffed. So it was a wild situation of them driving.
Yeah. So like at some points he's like, you need to brake here and do like all that, and so I thought that was pretty fun. But then at another point they like switch spots because she's like, I'm done with this, and then he has to drive
Which
so
I-
uncomfortably.
I relate. I'm like, I'm done. I'm tapping out. Please.
Yeah.
Let me out.
And then they get hit by a car or something, or they roll as they're going down those stairs, and then they like switch
Yeah.
spots, and she's like, well, I guess I'm driving again.
Yeah.
And then they drive into like a train car, like they drive on a train track for some reason, and then they can't move.
I think they went like in like the subway area, and then they were like just trying to go through like not like on the tracks, but just like on like the little side part.
Yeah, where everybody else is.
Yeah.
And then
And then they just crashed into the train, like in the rail.
Well,
railway.
they crashed on the railway. They couldn't move the car, but Haley Atwell's like, I'm a magician, baby, and then like gets out of
She's
her
not a thief, she's a magician.
yeah, she gets out of her handcuff and then cuffs him to the steering wheel for no reason. She was gonna commit murder at this point.
She was down.
Yeah, and then Tom Cruise is like, and then he's like, I'm gonna die. Barely misses the train, but is walking around with the steering wheel. And
what movie did we watch recently that also did that? Like someone was handcuffed to. Oh, it was Rush Hour.
Was it Rush Hour? Oh yeah, it was Rush Hour, where Jackie Chan had the where he
Or was
could.
it?
It was Jackie Chan, not Chris Tucker.
Oh, okay.
Jackie Chan was handcuffed to the
Steering wheel.
yeah.
And they did just the same thing of like taking off the wheel, just carrying it around with them.
That's weird that happened.
If I had 2 nickels,
Yeah.
or if I had a nickel for every time that I watched a movie where that happened, I'd have 2 nickels.
Not a lot, but it's weird.
It was weird that it happened.
But yeah. This is where the movie gets all weird after this point. Like, they meet up with everybody else.
Oh wait, before we move on,
Yeah.
I wanted to say the part where they switch cars and go into Mr. Bean's car. I just love like just how natural it's like. Tom Cruise is trying to figure out the car and he's like, sorry, it's like because he's like braking super hard and it's just crazy with driving and he's like, sorry, they always make these like all different and it's just like it's just a funny like awkward moment where it's like, oh yeah.
Like, that's what I like about these movies. These movies feel so grounded, even though there's lots of crazy stuff. Like, it doesn't like James Bond does not feel grounded compared to.
I feel like it takes itself way too seriously because there's no like a breath of air of just being like, oh yeah, I don't know how to drive this car, or like after they flip and they like switch seats, they're like. Like they just sit there like, what just happened?
Yeah. But yeah.
Anyways.
So yeah, this is where it gets all weird. Gabe is like, I work for, or no, hold up, we're not going to get to that. So come to find out, the buyer that she was going to give the key to, like, they find out that they were going to go meet with the White Widow, who was from Fallout, to sell the key to, that Haley Atwell is going to sell the key to, which, yeah. Then
White Widow has the other key, right?
Yeah, she supposedly has the other half. She's going to sell the combination to a buyer, which we don't know yet in the movie. Like, we find out later. But,
it's my boy. We'll get back to him, but it's my boy.
Yeah. So, come to find out they need to meet up in Rome with your girl. Your girl. Girl. White Widow girl.
Wow.
So they all meet up there. Benji and Luther are randomly there. Faust is also randomly there.
I think this was their meetup.
Yeah, this was their meetup. Then they went to the movie. Then they went to the party to meet up with Lady, like White Widow. Then Gabe shows up. Gabe is like, you don't know who you're messing with, Haley Atwell. You don't know what you're going to get yourself into. Give me the key. And then everybody else shows up and is like, hey, sell me the key.
Give it to me, please.
Yeah, then Gabe is like, no, you're going to give me the key because the entity tells me to. What's the entity? It's the AI. It's the AI. And I think Gabe is working for the AI.
I don't know.
That's what I assume is going on.
So I walked out for like a little bit, like at the beginning, like probably when they were explaining, like about the AI and that stuff. Because I walked out like right after like the end of the like showing the the Russian mission. I left, and then I came back and then
that was when Tom Cruise gasses the room with all the government people. And
yeah, because I missed that part, so I thought everyone was dead. I was like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
Because I thought, because they had shown Gabriel, like, before that, and then they show him after, so I was like, oh, he might be like the AI, but it's like taking different forms of like people and like it's blending in.
And
or
I could
something.
totally see that being a thing because Homeboy is so weird.
Yeah.
He's so weird in this movie. Like he doesn't act like a human being.
Yeah.
So that could totally be it.
Yeah.
But
We're gonna find out in the next one.
yeah.
Gotti.
So they meet up at the party. Gabe's like, "Give me the key, or somebody's gonna die." And
it's gonna be one of the ladies.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be your fault, Tom Cruise.
And then White Widow's like, "Wait a minute, why are we doing this?" And then she just walks out. Then there's a big chase sequence with, like, I was about to say Benji. Well, Benji is involved, but Haley Atwell runs away. Gabe follows Haley Atwell. Tom Cruise tries to follow them by tracking Haley.
Mm-hmm.
And
is it with the key?
no, I think it's that little lighter thing that he dropped on her or whatever.
The what?
That lighter thing.
Oh, I thought you said a ladder, and I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, she's just been carrying this ladder.
No, he bonked her, and that's how he knows.
But yeah, so
This
they're
one's
running
like
around.
This is the running scene of the movie.
Yeah.
Of Tom Cruise just booking it everywhere.
Well, he was hoofing it on top of that airport though. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I
know this, like, I think after watching Flash and he's saying, like, yeah, Tom Cruise only liked this because he likes his running scenes. And just watching this one, I was like, man, he does like his running scenes. So there's a lot in this.
Yeah. Yeah. They're running around or whatever. Faust is also there. I think in order of how close everybody is Haley Atwell is in the front. Gabe is following Haley. Well, yeah, Grace.
Whoa,
Grace is in the front. Gabe is behind Grace. Behind Gabe is Faust, and
far behind Faust
is Tom Cruise. Is Ethan Hunt.
Yeah. Yeah, because in this chase scene, the AI, the entity.
Yeah, the entity.
He like mimics his voice.
Benji's voice, because Benji was giving him directions on where to go.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, his comms were like taken over, and Benji couldn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then the entity was like, "Wait, you're going the wrong way. Turn this way."
Yeah, like just mimicking him and
yeah,
pointing him in the wrong direction.
Yeah, which was pretty fun. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Haley Atwell and Gabe meet up on this bridge, and then they're duking it out. She's got 2 knives. He's like, "I'm better than you because I'm Gabe."
And also, I'm stealing one of your knives and kicking the other one away from you, lady.
Yeah, and then he just knocks her out.
Yeah.
Faust comes in and is just like, "I'm gonna kill you."
I have a sword.
Does she have a sword?
Yeah, she took Mantis's sword because I think Grace left or Gabe left first. Like back at the party when they're all talking, White Widow leaves. Mantis works with
the
Gabe.
entity.
Yeah,
with Gabe and the entity.
Yeah, so they're like a little group. And like they all like leave their weapons somewhere, or like Mantis is the only one that has a sword, but then she like sets it down, which I thought was interesting. She like set it down and then just left it.
Mm-hmm.
Cause Gabe leaves and she leaves, like those two leave.
Mm-hmm.
Cause then while Tom Cruise is running around being misdirection. But while he's running around, he runs into Mantis and another guy that works with her and gets beat up in like a super thin alleyway, and
which
it
that
just
was
stresses
fun.
me out.
That was fun. I don't know how he
Dude.
got away with it, or how he got out of that situation. It was so sick.
Dude, I sat there and like I was like, dude, he's gonna kill her. I'm gonna be so sad.
Yeah.
And I was stressing out. Like So I was like, don't kill Mantis, please, not like this.
And then he
It
like
looked
has
so
the pipe.
brutal too.
Well, yeah, he had the pipe, and he was gonna swing and just bash her head in, and then all of a sudden just hits
Well,
right above her.
Yeah, well, like the whole time he was like right before that, he was like bashing her head into like the brick wall.
Oh, yeah.
To like knock her out.
Yeah.
And it was like, dude. Because I sat there and I was like, I'm uncomfortable, but I'm also like, don't do that to my Mantis. She's a baby.
She's also trying to kill you, but
yeah, but I know her as Mantis and she's baby.
Mm-hmm.
I love her.
But yeah.
But yeah, so Faust has her sword.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, during that scene, she dies.
Oh yeah, Faust dies.
Does Gabe take the key?
Yeah, Gabe takes the key from Haley. No.
I don't think anyone has the key. Like, I think it's just
White
Widow.
Does White Widow has the key?
No.
Wait, dude with the jacket, the red jacket that's brothers with the White Widow has the key.
I didn't know they're siblings. I thought he was just a worker.
I think they're siblings.
I don't know, man.
They're like me and you, Amy. Siblings.
Dude! Look at us. But I totally forgot about that. Or does she put it in the jacket of like the guy that works with her?
Because
like her right hand man.
Which is the brother.
Oh,
that's who I was saying.
I thought he was just a security guy. And it was like we're besties.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that.
But they're also siblings.
Yeah, just like us, Amy.
Wow. When you become a crime lord and your brother is your security guard and your besties. Wow.
Wait, did she just run away? Gabe is like, I'm gonna kill her because I want to.
Who?
Gabe wants to kill Grace because just because he feels like it.
I think the whole thing is Gabe is like telling Tom Cruise like, you need to give it to me or bad stuff is gonna happen to the people that you love.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be all your fault because you didn't give me the key when you were supposed to.
Okay.
Who knows?
Somehow, White Widow has the key and is gonna sell it to...
We don't know where the key is, but...
Well, we don't know how it got to White Widow, but the White Widow has the key and is gonna sell it to...
Well, does she have it or does Grace have it? Because... We're gonna skip. So Faust dies. Wow, shocker. Later on, it is quite a shocker. The guy behind us in the theater was like crying about it. I felt bad for him.
Really? I didn't
like
hear
he was
that.
sniffling. It was like when they're all like hanging out and just like talking and just telling Grace like, hey, you need to do this and talking about whatever. And he was sitting there just like.
It's like you gotta join the team, brother.
Well, it was like right after she died, and it was just all of them being sad about it and crying, and he was just sniffling, and I was like, it's okay, man. It's okay. It's just a movie.
No, it's not. It's more than just a movie. It's Tom Cruise.
But yeah, I also love this too, but they're saying like what the plan is, and there's just a train. Tom Cruise and Grace are gonna disguise themselves as the siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to go do this transaction and take the key and do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just love how they show like a short montage of what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then it cuts back to them like back there. And Grace is like, you want me to do what? And she's like, wait a minute.
I can't do that.
It's so good. I love it. But yeah, this is when they're making the face masks. They make Grace's mask, but in the middle of doing Tom Cruise's, of course, it malfunctions, and they're like, we can't do anything. How are we going to get you in there?
Mask malfunction.
And then, yeah, so Tom Cruise is like, yeah, I'll just jump on the train later on. You'll just have to go without me.
Yeah.
Then they knock out White Widow, and Grace takes her spot. And I love... Because, like, when they first show him on the train, I thought it already happened where they did the swap. Because Grace has brown eyes, and White Widow has blue eyes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
that was, like, the first thing that I noticed. Because I was, like... Because I even sat there, and I was like, why isn't her brother, like, saying anything about, like, just being like, your eyes are brown. They're usually blue. And they're, like, a bright blue, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's very obvious that they're different.
Yeah.
But I like how they had that detail in there.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Like, that was, like, the first thing I noticed, but then it's, like, there's some people that, like, don't know. Like, like, it's just, like, oh, yeah, and, like, I don't know. There's some details that people don't notice, like, just being like, what color are your eyes? I can't remember. Oof, we've known each other for 10 years.
Yeah.
Oops. But if they're siblings, then it's
that's
like...
even worse.
I know, because I sat here and I was like, okay, they just work together, they're close, but I guess if, like... I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't remember the eye color of my old bosses. I can't remember that. I'm just like, yeah, they have eyes. That's it. They have eyes.
Okay. Let's run through this movie really quick. I didn't realize how long we've been going on this.
Yeah. But yeah, on the train, swap places, and the seller or the buyer that they go to, it's the U.S. government. Is it the government?
It's
Wanna?
It's the head of the Mission Impossible group.
Okay.
Which, to clarify, is not the group that.
That got gassed earlier.
No.
Or
this is not the Tom Cruise group. The Tom Cruise group is now Rogue. Not their name, but they're just being rogue.
Yeah. You know, like
they're
from
rogue
Sonic.
Asians. Rogue agents.
Nice. But
but yeah.
Yeah. Also find out that he's working with my boy Carrie Elways, who's in Saw as Lawrence Gordon, and he's also Wesley from Princess Bride. I was so happy to see him. I can't remember if I knew he was in this movie or not, but I was like, it's my boy. I love him.
Yeah.
And then he dies.
Yeah.
He's in 2 scenes, and I thought he died in the first scene.
But then
and then he didn't, and then he died.
Yeah.
I was so sad.
Yeah. Because I think Wesley dude is CIA.
Oh, okay.
Guy who was buying from White Widow was MIF or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But yeah, I also thought it was interesting that Grace put her own, like, was it her own information for the money?
Yeah, she put in her information so she would get the money.
Yeah.
And then she'd just run away and she'd be like, heist of the century, baby.
I know, I was so happy for her. I was like, yes, do it. Do it.
And then didn't she just cancel it, like,
right
before?
Yeah. Because then, like, right there, she was like, because now I don't know if she was supposed to do that. Like, do, like, the whole cell.
Well, I think she was just supposed to find out who the buyer was, then they take down the buyer, then move on to the next. Like, then Mission Impossible, roll credits, baby.
Yeah.
But Mission Impossible gets more impossible.
Wow. Because Tom Cruise isn't on the train when he was supposed to.
Yeah.
Because earlier Gabe made the train go fast.
Yeah, they're supposed to hop on this train at this one point, and it's supposed to slow down around this curve, right? And Gabe's like, you know what? I'm going to be at the front of the train and kill everybody, make it go really fast, and then have this guy lean on the whistle thing so nobody is like questioning if train people are still alive. Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting that he just was like I sat here and I was like, oh yes, just the little 5-year-old brain of being like, I'm going to tie this guy up so then every once in a while it'll toot the horn and I'll be happy. I was like, you didn't need to do that, but you had to, I guess.
That character is so weird, but I love it. But yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what happens in between all this.
So, train goes fast. Tom Cruise misses his jump point because train was going too fast. Then Benji's like, drive. And Benji's like,
up this hill, but I'm not going to tell you you're going to be going up this hill and that you're going to be flying off a cliff.
Yeah, he's
Have fun, my good man.
Yeah, and he does the big stunt of the movie where he flies off of the mountain to parachute onto the train. But we'll get back to that in a second.
Yeah.
Come to find out, well, not come to find out because we already knew. Wesley is like sitting in a room waiting for MIF dude to be like,
Here's the key, my good man.
yeah. And Gabe finds Wesley. Wesley's like,
I'm the only one that knows where the submarine is, 'cause it's in the Atlantic Ocean.
yeah.
And then Gabriel's like, sick, thank you, kills him, and then turns around, and Mantis is also there with him, and he's like, there can be only one, and stabs her, and walks away.
Well, he's like, I can't trust you anymore because now you, like, he turns around and sees Paris and is just like, yeah, we can't.
But yeah, he was like,
can't,
yeah, he kept you alive.
Yeah, he spared you, so you're more.
You're gonna snitch on me.
Yeah, well, she's like, oh my gosh. Tom Cruise saved Paris, and he's like, because of that, you're more than likely going to save them and side with them at some point. Or you have a higher chance of betraying us. So let's get rid of that variable.
Mm-hmm.
Entity is like, yo, I need this girl killed.
Kill her right now.
Mm-hmm. Then he somehow gets the key. This is like fast forwarding even farther now. Gabe gets the key.
No, it's not by much. I think he just takes the key from the people. Oh, no.
Takes the key from somebody. From Grace, I think. Because Grace still has the key.
Yeah, Grace has the key. They find out that she's a doppelganger, and she takes off the mask.
Runs away.
Yeah.
But then Gabe's like,
brother attacks her, then Tom Cruise crashes into the car, and then in that tussle, like, the key flew away, and I think that's when Gabe grabbed it.
Oh yeah, Gabe got the key through there.
Mm-hmm. Then he jumped out of the train.
Well, he got on top of the train to get to a jump point to get off the train.
Yeah, okay.
Because the entity's like, there's probably going to be a truck right there that you can jump onto.
I promise.
Yeah.
I like the idea of just the AI being like, "Oh, do this thing. It'll happen. I promise." It makes me sit here like, I don't trust you, but this is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious coming from a robot.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of Lila, where she's like, "You gotta say please." Well, my version, we can just call him Todd, and it'll just be for a totally optional device, and he's just gonna be like, "Do this thing. I promise it'll work out." And
I actually really like
that.
I totally love that you called this new AI that's supposed to be Isla from Spider-Verse, but it's Todd, and you already gave him an acronym.
Yeah, totally optional device. And it's like TOD, it's not TODD like usual Todd.
Yeah.
When I'm the one that makes the Spider-Verse reference and not you. Oof.
Yeah.
But yeah, he jumps off the train. Grace.
Well, like, Homeboy is like, we can't kill what's his name, because we kill what's his name, we can't destroy. Like, if we don't kill Gabe, we just gotta apprehend him. Because if we kill Gabe, we don't know where the AI is.
Yeah.
We have to destroy the AI, so we can kill Gabe later.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Cruise is like, I really want to do that because that's part of my story arc.
My story arc is to kill him.
Mm-hmm. And so they're on top of the train. They're fighting each other. They do the thing in like all of the on top of the train sequences where you have to immediately drop because they're going under a bridge or tunnel.
They're going through a tunnel that's going through a mountain.
Yeah. And then
I totally sat there because at one point Gabe still has a knife, and he's like they had to like go on like the sides of the train while they were like in a tunnel. And he was using a knife to prop him up, and I was like, "Ain't no way!" So I was like, "That's just like a what's it called? Like a switchblade." Oh, so it's like it's not that strong. It's not like. But
Gabe's that strong though. Gibby.
Gibby.
Yeah.
But I sit here and I'm like, okay, it's not like Marvel where it's like Yeah, our materials are stronger because, like, it could be, like, I was going to say, vibranium. I was going to say uranium.
Well, that's
Bombs.
bombs.
But it's not like stuff like that where you can just sit there and be like, oh, yeah, it makes sense that... To me, it was like, there's no way that the blade would stick in there because it's just a flimsy knife.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to stick through a train and hold up a man.
I thought it was whatever. It's nitpicky. But
Yeah.
Yeah, they get on the train. Homeboy's like, I got the key.
And then jumps off the train.
And he's like, you got a train to catch. That's quoting my favorite movie, Spider-Man 2. And Tom Cruise is like, that was a weird reference. He jumped.
That was weird, and then he jumps off.
Yeah. Tom Cruise has to reboot for a second because Gabe said such weird lines, jumps off the train, and then Tom Cruise is like, I gotta stop the train now. So they have to get to the front of the train, tell everybody to get off the back of the train.
I think before this, he told Grace to go stop the train.
Yeah.
And he was gonna chase after Gabe.
Yeah. Oh,
and
right.
And then, so she was at the front of the train trying to stop it. Which, like, first off, I feel like she would have reacted to, like, one of the engineers. Like, the one that was just strung up, like, making the horn go. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like we were going to get a reaction of that from her. But then we didn't. It just shows her walking out, and she's like, I can't do anything. It's stuck. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah. Then they... Which, I'm happy because I sat here and I was like, yeah, detach the front of the train.
Yeah.
Oh, but while they're on the roof, the government people that's been following them this whole time, they're like, hey, we got to work together. Go tell all the passengers to go to the back of the train because we're all going to die if we don't do this.
Yeah.
And those guys are like, okay, we'll do that. And then they go to the front and stop the train.
Yeah, but then they have an Uncharted 2 situation where they have to keep on climbing up the train while the train is detaching and falling off. And
I did like that scene. It was pretty good.
Fun.
I really like Grace's character because there's just a lot of points where, like, she just feels real. Because, like, there's the part where there's, like a piano that's, like, strapped to the train. And it's, like, going to fall on them. So Tom Cruise, like, jumps to the other side and is like, come on, Grace, I got you. It's going to be okay. And she's just sitting there just nervous and just panicking.
Yeah.
Like, she just feels real because there's just a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because
and
there's
just,
that
like,
nervous tension and whatever.
Yeah, like, it just makes it feel real where it's like, okay, you're obviously not like Tom Cruise where you're used to doing all this action stuff. You're just a regular, like, bystander that, like, doesn't do this stuff all the time and isn't, like, used to all this. But yeah, then...
Well, let's go into that little sequence where they're trying to get up and now, like, Tom Cruise doesn't have enough strength to pull them up because, like, stuff happens and whatnot. And,
well, I feel like it's just balancing it because it's like, okay, if I use, like, I have to hold on, but then I can't use, like, all my strength to, like, just pull her up because then with, like, just the motion of it, it's gonna...
Like, the thing that he's grabbing onto is, like, gonna detach and whatever.
Yeah, like, it already started to detach.
Then
Mantis comes in.
Paris comes in.
She comes in and helps him.
The one who's probably the lightest of the group and probably doesn't have a lot of strength to do it.
And she's also
stabbed.
Yeah, she's also stabbed too.
Which I saw, I got a theory from our good boy Nando V Movies.
Ooh.
He was like, yeah, Paris, her character looks like a mime at one point. So she used her mime powers, made a fake pulley system, and cranked on this pulley.
This is perfect. Thank you, Nando.
Yeah, he's like,
I believe this.
We got this pulley system or something that, like, helped pull them up and got them out of there. I'm like, I love this idea because it's just like you see Mantis grab onto him and then cuts to the next scene.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, what else happens in this movie? Find out Tom Cruise actually has the key. Gabe pulls out what he thinks is the key, and it's
the lighter.
Like the lighter or whatever. It's something.
And Mantis, before she actually dies, tells them the location of where it is.
Oh, right. Well,
because I think she just says, like...
It's like, it's on the submarine.
Well, it's either she says.
Well, she says whatever the name of the submarine is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was like, it was either like she said one word, but like it would have been too vague if it was like, yeah, Russian or submarine or Antarctica.
Yeah, well, they said the actual submarine's name.
Yeah.
But guess what, Amy? I don't think she dies, because
I hope not.
because at some point the other agent comes up to the front, sees Paris there, and he's like, "I think I got a pulse," and then movie ends.
Oh.
But yeah, that's basically, well, that is the movie. We just went through the whole movie, and now that we got through this far,
now we have 3 other movies.
yeah, we have 3 other movies to get through, but one of them, I don't know, some of them might be quick. Others might be quicker than this. But
Yeah.
basically, we basically said what we liked,
Yeah.
about, like what we enjoyed.
Yeah.
This movie is not the. I think
I think just how this one ended, like.
Well,
I feel like that.
It ended how it. Yeah, never mind. You go for it.
I feel like just how it ended, it makes it seem like there's not gonna be that much happening in the next movie. Because like Gabe doesn't have the key, so it's not super like it's not that tense, and like. Because I wish they just ended it where he has the key.
Yeah.
Because I sit here and I'm like, oh, they could have just ended it where, like, they stop the train and they don't show Gabe, like, sitting there being like, haha, look, I won, and pulls out the lighter and is like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Like, if they, like, I don't know.
Where they didn't do the Guardians of the Galaxy sequence where Yondu pulls out what he thinks is the Power Stone and it's the troll monster toy.
Yeah. But, like, if they ended it where, like, he actually does have the key, it would make the next one feel like it matters more, I guess. Because right now it's just like, on the next movie, they're just going to go and, like, go to the submarine. Oh, Gabe's there because he knows where it is. Fight scene, that's it. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah, I feel like there's not that much to go into.
Yeah, because then it makes this movie feel like, because this one was like 3 hours long, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like, just with how long this one was, it's like, you couldn't have just plopped one of the hours into the next movie. Cause like,
you probably could have ended it with Faust dying, and then the next movie is...
Yeah, like with
the
them,
train
like, telling her...
sequence and the...
Yeah, like...
Like, they could have literally ended the movie with, Grace, you're a part of our team now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because even though I really like the train scene... But, like, yeah, like, I sit here like, yeah, they could have just...
But they needed the mask sequence. They needed the faulty mask with the Tom Cruise stunt scene.
They needed to have him jumping off of a mountain, parachuting into a train.
Drop kicking a random henchman outside the other side of the train.
Ooh!
But, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the movie. It's not my favorite. I might revisit it before the next one comes out.
Yeah. I'd like to do actually, I'm not going to say it to, like, commit to it, but I would like to watch more of the Mission Impossible movies.
I have the whole series.
Or, I know you do. But now knowing that it's like, okay, Gabe doesn't matter. Like, he's just a new character from this movie. Because that's what I sat there like, was just like, okay, I need to watch the other ones to get this guy more, because he's just weird in this movie.
Yeah.
But now knowing that he's not in the other ones, it's like, oh, okay, so it doesn't matter.
I think you need to at least watch everything after 3. Like, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Those are, like, more the new age group, like the new age of the Mission Impossible movies. But I really like the first 3 as well.
Yeah. Because I've seen parts of the first one, because it has all those classic scenes of, like, oh, I'm almost falling onto the floor that has lasers on it, but last second, it's fine.
And then he has to catch his sweat, and, like...
Oh, I didn't realize that was part of it, too.
Well, yeah, and, like, he's sweating, and then, like, it starts to drip off of his face, and then he catches it and whatever. And the guy from Pink Panther is also in that movie. but we don't need to get into that. But yeah, I like this movie. It's not my favorite. I think out of all the movies that came out this month, I think it's my least favorite. But
Yeah.
it's still really good.
Yeah, and I feel like it's similar to Beyond, or yeah, I guess Beyond the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, where it's like this is one half of like a whole story that's happening. So it's hard to be like, I didn't like it or I did like it.
Yeah, because you need
It's
the
like-
full story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, should we move on to the next one, or do you have more to say?
No, let's move on to it.
Okay.
Okay, let's do Barbie.
Barbie, baby! So Barbie is about Barbie. Whoa.
Whoa.
And basically the whole premise of this, it's similar to like Lego Movie, where it's like,
You're exploring the world of Barbie.
yeah, and it's like the toys like perspective, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But Barbie, Margot Robbie, like I'm just gonna call her Barbie. Like main Barbie we're talking about, Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
She starts like the world's not feeling the same as before. Like she's not as happy as before. She has cellulite now. Her feet are flat, and she has thoughts of dying. And come to find out, it's just her like her human, I guess. Like the kid that played with her is like starting to like bleed onto her, and like there's just something wrong.
There's some sort of detachment or whatever.
Yeah, so she needs to go to the real world to go help out her human.
Mm-hmm.
And Ken goes along with her and learns about patriarchy and goes back to Barbie Land and ruins everything.
Wow, this is actually like a really quick synopsis of what's going on, and I feel like we haven't missed a beat.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically the whole movie. It's just Barbie trying to fix everything and just her feeling stuff.
Wow,
Like-
that's a really quick synopsis versus our Mission Impossible one. I don't even think we took a minute on it.
But there's so much fun stuff in this movie. Like it's a simple story, but there's a lot like underlying it. Like just saying what the story is compared to like what like everything is about is.
Which I think this was the
difference.
biggest complaint with the movies, that it lacked a storyline. It was just a lot of filler stuff.
But I feel like to me, I feel like this
Like-
what story that we had didn't really matter.
Yeah,
Like it was
yeah.
enough for like the movie. Like
Yeah.
I didn't need like a big grand like story.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm trying to think of like another movie that was like a super simple story, but it was like a really good movie, and there's a lot of stuff that they did with it.
Yeah,
Which could be like a lot of movies, but
where it's not a big story. Like you're not focused on the storyline. You're focused on like what, like all the little mini scenes. Sort of like how, what was the Wes Anderson movie with the newspaper company?
French Dispatch.
Yeah, where it wasn't really like the story, like where you find out the story is really just a reflection of the, like, you didn't go to watch the movie to talk about Bill Murray dying, but that was
Yeah.
the storyline.
Yeah,
Bill
it was,
Murray died, and these are the stuff that he was a part of.
Mm-hmm. It was mostly about like
It was about just the
the
stories.
articles. Yeah.
It was just, yeah.
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 But yeah, I'm gonna say this movie is like the movie of the year for me. Like this is my number one movie. I love it so much.
And I'm unsure about this movie. Like, I think I like this movie a lot. Like, I had so much fun in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of stuff where, like, I don't know, this movie was good, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
Like, I had fun with it, but it's not like I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, or it was like, I don't know. So this movie is probably the funniest movie of the year.
Dude. I think I told you this when we walked out of the movie, but I haven't laughed in like a movie theater in like years.
Like,
Like
yeah.
I can't think of like a movie where like I laughed out loud at
Yeah.
like jokes in a movie.
I don't laugh out loud at a lot of stuff in movies unless
Mhm.
it's absurd stuff like this movie and Haunted Mansion. I laughed super hard in that movie,
Yeah.
and Oppenheimer. I laughed super hard in the movie theater,
Yeah, you did.
especially when the bomb dropped.
Dude.
Okay.
But, yeah.
um,
Dude, the like I was gonna say production, but that's not what I meant. Like
the set design.
yeah, like just the design of everything. Like everything looks so good, and everything's like practical too. And it
Yeah.
just looks like the actual toys, or
Yeah.
even like the commercials that they
Like
do
the
of
dream
Barbies.
house and like the. Okay,
Even
yeah.
just like the roll, like the skates that they have, where it's like neon yellow with like these neon pink wheels, and
Yeah.
it looks like plastic. It's so good.
Yeah.
I
Well,
love it.
This movie was probably the most well designed movie.
Mhm.
Probably next to like, it's the best live action movie. Like I don't know, I can't think of the last movie that was
That had like good design to it.
or that had this kind of like design to it, other than like a Wes Anderson style.
That's
thing.
what I was gonna say, because I was
Like,
thinking
because
of
it's like
French
follows
Dispatch.
a color palette or like whatnot. But like outside of like what's it called? Spider-Verse is still gonna be the best design movie of the year. I don't think it's gonna be beaten out by anything else.
Yeah.
I like the design of Spider-Verse more than Barbie, but Barbie did such a good job.
Yeah.
I
well,
think
I also
I think
feel
I
like
was I'm yeah.
I feel like with those two movies, with Spider-Verse, there's multiple styles that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
While with Barbie, it's one style.
Mhm.
But they both do both
Really
of their
good.
things really good with what
Mhm.
they have.
Yeah.
Dude, people, it's so funny. People have been saying, like, doing the Barbenheimer stuff.
Yeah.
And they've been saying, like, I love how, like, Best Supporting Actor is going to be Ryan Gosling as Ken. And Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer. Like, it's going to be those two. Like, those two are, like, the top people.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a race between those two. And even, like, the main actors.
Uh-huh.
Like Margot Robbie and Cillian Murphy for like Best Actor, which
it's-
is so funny to me. But it's like, you're not wrong. Like,
So, you know what's crazy about these two movies?
Hmm.
Like, Barbenheimer's gonna mold together,
yeah,
but like these movies were designed very well. The actors, like the cast, is insane, and I love it. Like everybody who was in their roles did really good.
like I feel like these two are like equally as good,
Mm-hmm.
but they're also just so different. Like to me,
Yeah.
it's hard to compare the two. Like I can't.
Oh, you
say,
can't. You can't compare the two.
Like I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, Oppenheimer's better because the story is more serious and it's a real story, so I like it more. When
Yeah.
I sit here like, oh no, Barbie, I like Barbie more than Oppenheimer, but that's just a personal preference, and they're both good.
It's like comparing two food groups. It's just like
yeah,
it's like saying you like.
you're comparing a comedy to a drama.
Yeah, you're comparing Mexican food to Chinese food.
Yeah, like apples and oranges.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah,
So
I think it's funny with, just with Barbie, there's been so many people just complaining about it. When it's like to me, like me as a woman coming in here and just like, a lot of the stuff in the movie, it's like, oh yeah, this is geared more towards women,
yeah,
and that kind of stuff. But it's not being like, because there's a lot of people that are saying like, yeah, the movie's anti-man, when it's like, no, it's not. Like, Ken's whole story arc is just being like, I want to be seen more as like, than just someone that like his whole thing is like, I want to be seen by Barbie, but then at the end is like, you need to do your own thing, Ken. Like, you're your own person, and Barbie shouldn't like be like your main goal.
yeah. You shouldn't
like,
be.
you need to be yourself.
You shouldn't be an accessory to Barbie. You should be Ken.
Yeah. which like that's not anti-man, that's pro-man.
I know.
Which is super funny to me.
Well,
And people are saying like, yeah, and it's anti-patriarchy when it's like they're like people have been saying like, yeah, it's gonna be pro-matriarchy and anti-patriarchy when it's like, no, it's anti-patriarchy and matriarchy. Like it's the whole thing is like we gotta work together. Like it's not one side's right, one side's wrong. Like we all need to take care of each other, not like there needs to be a balance.
And as a man going into this movie, they're like, I was one of those people where I was like, man, this movie hates men. But like, so like, here's my thing. Like, the scenes that, like, I really enjoyed this movie. This movie was hilarious. This movie was great. And like, my biggest gripe with the movie was that, like, all power to women. Women are great. And I think that they have so much power to them, and they are an inspiration to mankind. Like, they're like, I'm not degrading them, and I'm not like, I don't know. And like, and I do recognize how things were and how like how people are portraying life as like these gender norms and whatnot. But like, if like some parts of the movie where it's just like if you like, there's not in a real world, you don't have, like, sure, you have people that could be catcalling you, but there's not going to be every single man that you see at a beach is going to be like, I'm going to slap that butt, or, ooh, do you got fries with that shake or whatever, or like, and not every man is against every woman, and it's not like, I don't know.
But it still happens.
Yeah, but
like,
it's,
I think like the movie. I feel like what the movie did is what like they were just showing Barbie how different the world, like Barbie Land, is compared to the real world, and I think they were just like meshing everything in together. Like with the catcalling scene, like I see it as like, oh yeah, like with her walking up being like, hey, do you guys know where this spot is? And they just immediately catcall her. Like, yeah, that's like goofy and like just like over exaggerating it. But it happens. Like, to me, it happened to me when I was like 12. I was getting catcalled by grown men. And I was like, dude, I'm 12. Don't look at me like that.
But,
and it happens to like other people all the time.
And I understand that. But, like,
I think just the style of the movie, they like over exaggerated stuff. But it's still a lot of stuff that does happen. But I think just with how they over exaggerated it, it can like turn off some people to it. Like,
okay, the scene where I was immediately pulled out of the movie and I'm like, I want this scene to be done with, was the America, what was her name? America Ferrera? The mom. I can't remember. The girl from Superstore.
That's what she's from. Yeah. I was like, because I remember sitting there like, she's from a show, but I can't remember. Yeah. Because I think I asked you if she's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I was like, no, she's not.
She's Amy from, I think her name is Amy.
It is, yeah. She always has a different name tag on, like with a different name.
Yeah. Which, I was excited to see her, but then, like, she kept... Her whole sequence where she was in the weird Barbie house or whatever you want to call that place, where she like has the like, where she's like, I'm sick of
just her monologue of her whole, talking about being a woman.
Yeah, which
is true. Like I know, like, to me, I sit here and I'm like, as a woman. And, like, all the stuff that she said, it's like, yeah, that does, like, yeah, that's a thing.
But that also happens with men, though. Like, you can't, like, the whole thing of, like, you can't be, like, you can't try to be pretty because like you have to try to being pretty so you don't like look ugly or whatever, but you can't look too pretty or you're gonna look like a slut, or you're gonna be like you can't be too thin. Like you have to try to be thin, but you can't say that you want to be thin, because if you're saying you want to be thin, you're saying that you don't like how your body is and whatever, so you have to call it being, you want to be healthy and whatever. But like all that, like all these different things like that happen like throughout that monologue, I'm like, that happens to men too, that happens to men too here. And like
Well, the
where
thing is
where they
too-
like don't realize that all these things that happen to these women also happen to men. And it's like that's what like my biggest problem with this like toxic feminism is that like they don't realize that this isn't like just a thing that happens to women, it happens to men too.
Well, so the whole thing with that, like, because with her character, like, the whole thing is, like, with Barbie Land and the real world, it's, like, opposite. So, like, all the men in Barbie Land are, like, just basically, like, the women in the real world, while all the women there are, like, the men in the real world. And the whole thing was just to wake up the Barbies being like, hey, listen, this is stuff that we're all going through, because there was a main Barbie, Margot Robbie, who was like, yeah, now I'm ugly now because I have cellulite and I have flat feet and I'm not going to be good enough. I have no purpose.
Right.
And then you have a bunch of the other Barbies who, like, got brainwashed by the Kens with, like, their
the
horse
horses.
ranch. I'll come back to that, but like their whole thing just being like, oh yeah, I like not doing this thing and not caring about whatever. I like being like,
You like
just,
being, yeah.
I like being just a little cheerleader, when it's like, no, like, and also the whole thing of like Barbie saying like, yeah, us Barbies are like inspiration for women and we made you guys do all these good things and we're such good inspirations, when it's like, you are, but also it's like you're a toy. You're not doing too much to inspire us, but
like it's a symbol.
Like,
it's a symbol of like what Barbie it is a symbol of what Barbie can be. They're more than just a model. They're more than just like this swimsuit wearing toy. They are an astronaut. They are the president. They are all these different things. They're doctors and whatnot.
Yeah, but it's like it's cool coming from like America, who the character, the mom.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but just with her talking about all this stuff, it could also just be a reflection of like, these are how the Kens felt and like how they need to balance all this stuff out too.
Yeah.
And it's waking up the Barbies being like, oh yeah, this is how we treated Ken, and also like, oh yeah, like this is stuff that happens, or like, oh, this is what's been happening since Ken's been ruling the world, and all that stuff. So it's just saying like, this stuff happens to everyone. I think because this one was like, because I feel like it's not like toxic in any way. I think it's just like, it's more obvious with what it's saying than being like, just like making it like a metaphor. Like they're just being like more outright with it.
Well,
And I feel like people shouldn't look at it and be like, oh yeah, this is only a message to women. Like it should be like, this should be a message for everyone. Because everyone was problematic in the movie. Like it wasn't perfect at the beginning, like before Barbie started getting depressed. Like it was always a problem at the beginning, because like with Barbie and Ken just wanted Barbie to like appreciate him and like pay attention to him. When it's like, that shouldn't be your whole thing. Like you need to like be your own person, do what you want.
Like,
and Barbie just needed a purpose, and she was just a generic Barbie.
I think they just need to emphasize that more, that like this movie is trying to tell people like, you're more than what you are. You're more than what you're seen as.
Yeah.
Which,
I think
like,
they focus more on
just,
the woman half of it rather than the men. Even though they did have just the whole thing with Ken, like the whole like, I'm just Ken song, and like the I'm like just the Kenergy and I'm Kenuff.
You're Kenuff.
Yeah, I want one of those hoodies.
Yeah,
they
look
so
comfortable.
Fun. Oh yeah.
But
But I think they just were more in, like, the women side. Which, like, I get why they didn't balance it out, because I don't know. Like,
I think it makes it easier. Like, it's easier to focus on one subject than focus on a whole other, like, I don't know.
And I think, too, because it's a Barbie movie, people expect just mostly women going to this movie.
Yeah.
When it could be just for everyone.
Yeah.
Like anyone could play with a Barbie doll. Like, I'm sure, like, all of my brothers, like, I feel like all of us kids played with Barbies. And we watched all the movies.
Well, like, when you're like me,
I mean, when you're
like,
the youngest boy in between a bunch of sisters, then
yeah, when your older brothers are like over 5 years older than you, and then your sisters are within
the 5 years.
Yeah, within the 5 years, it's because I don't think our brothers ever watched the Barbie movies.
They don't watch the movies. I know that.
Like Taylor,
I know Taylor played.
He would like play in toys, like whatever we played with toys. He was like we would play with the Rescue Rangers and whatever, but like Barbies would also come out.
You'd also play with Barbies, yeah.
I think we would play with all the toys in there. But
yeah. But yeah,
sorry to call you out, Taylor, you masculine man.
If you're even listening. I don't know. To me, I just think of it as like this could be a message for like everyone. Like not just like this is solely for women and men can't feel this way either. It's like, no, it's a good message and it could be for anyone.
So the thing that I got most out of this movie, I felt so called out. Like, when like in the taking over Barbie Land again, having the kingdom fall, the fall of the kingdom, having like the explanation of like, I don't get Photoshop, and it's just like, oh, like you gotta use this. I'm like, yeah, you gotta use this. I'm like, wait, I've totally done this kind of thing. And then like it goes to like them
all going on dates, being like, I made this song, you want to listen to it? And it was 4 hours later, and they're sitting at the beach.
Yeah, want to see me play the guitar at you, and everybody has like these different faces. Like Simu Liu, I think, gives off the same vibe of like how I play the guitar. And like I've never felt so called out.
And I love it too, because it's like there's no song, like it's not like an actual song playing. It's just them like
they're
strumming
just
the guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're all supposed to be singing the same song.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love how like when it pans out to like all the other kids and they're all like on the same beach, like probably like 3 feet apart from one another, but like everyone has different instruments.
Yeah. Well, it's just everybody had guitars, but then the one dude had the drums.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Oh, and then John Cena had the ukulele. The ukulele.
Dude, John Cena.
But like that whole sequence, I never felt so called out because I'm like, I've totally played. I'm like, want to hear me play the guitar, or like, you haven't seen this movie? Let me tell you all about it as the movie's going.
Well, it's funny because I sit here and I'm like, okay, like, actually I shouldn't say it. I was gonna say, yeah, I've done that before, but it's like I haven't gone on dates where I'm like, hey, like I haven't gone up to like my date and being like, yeah, this part of the movie, in Lord of the Rings when that guy kicks the helmet. Did you know that he broke his toe? It's like common knowledge. Like it makes me think of the memes of like people talking about that part of Lord of the Rings where like it's like POV, you're watching Lord of the Rings for the first time, and like it's close up on the front being like, hey, did you know?
Oh,
so funny.
Like, yeah. So, some of my favorite parts of the movie. Let's just get into some great parts.
I'm ready.
I love the part where Ken finds the patriarchy.
And it's all just, like, half of it is just horses.
Yeah, they're riding on horses. You see the guys walking out of walking out the gym, and they're like, "Dude, that was a good workout." And they're like doing a hand, like a fist bump and like hand,
like a secret handshake.
Yeah, but like every single like time they connect hands, like they do a men. Like it was so,
I forgot about that.
It was so funny.
I think also just with how cartoony they made the patriarchy, even though half of it was horses, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's also just as like it's a bad comparison, but it's like just as obvious as like, oh yeah, women power, am I right? And just that whole thing. But it's more played for laughs with like the men.
Like the only thing that felt like that same energy with like the Barbie side, I'm trying to think of other stuff like that, other than the flat foot thing, but that was like more of a Barbie thing. But like the part where they're standing out. Yeah. But like the part where they're standing outside and
where Alan kills.
No.
Dude, that joke where they're like, yeah, we gotta hurry and stop. Like, we gotta hurry and vote or before like the Kens figure out they don't need to build a wall. Like,
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, we gotta hurry and go before the Kens find out that they need to build sideways.
It's so funny. It's so dumb.
Like
I see it and I'm like, it's not like a, oh yeah, that's what men do. It's more like a, oh yeah.
That's a
like,
Ken thing.
No, yeah. I feel like Ken could just extend to any like stupid person. Like me not seeing how a wall is made, I would do that too.
Yeah.
Just being like, all right, how high do I want it? Yeah, that's good. Okay, we'll just build it this way, like Legos.
So, the scene that I was talking about, though, was at the beginning of the movie, like, first day. They have the party and whatever, and at the end of the night, Ken's, like, leaving, and they're doing, like, they're like, all
like
talking.
A slumber party.
Yeah, but she's like, yeah,
only.
it's like, oh, it's girls' night, we gotta go back in. But, like, after Ken and Barbie are, like, talking and they leave, she walks back in, and all the girls are like, yes,
girls' night.
Well, no, but they were like all pumped about being with like what happened with Ken or whatever. Like,
oh yeah,
it gave off the same energy as like all the women are just like looking out to see if they're gonna kiss before she comes in, and then they just all get pumped when they come in.
Dude, I know they don't kiss, but yeah, because there's an interview with Margot Robbie, and she's talking about like. After her friends went to go see the movie, they're like, "You didn't kiss Ryan Gosling? What's wrong with you?"
Yeah. But yeah.
But like, didn't they like pretend to kiss, or like he was like
he was going in for it, and she was
left.
just like smiling at it and was just like seemed super oblivious to it.
The whole conversation is so funny. Just the, hey Barbie, I was wondering, do you want to spend the night? And she's like, yeah, what would we do? And he's like, or just being like. Oh yeah, like I think she was like, why? And he's like, because we're boyfriend and girlfriend. And she's like, yeah, well, what are we gonna do? And he's like,
boyfriend girlfriend stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's like, what is that? And he's just like, oh.
He's like, I don't know. I just like I can't remember if it was in the movie, but just the immediately like yeah, what are we gonna do? And he's like, I don't know. I love just the narrator too.
Yeah, she's pretty good too.
I'm trying to remember who it is.
It was lady from Shazam 2.
Yeah, she was in Cats. That's all I thought about. I was like, yeah, Old Deuteronomy, it's her.
Mm-hmm.
But like, just there's so many funny jokes. Like just being like, oh yeah, Barbie doesn't walk down the stairs. She simply is just carried off and placed to where she needs to go.
Yeah.
And also just like Margot Robbie saying like, I'm just ugly, and she's like, just to let you know, this is like terrible coming from Margot Robbie. So just imagine as someone else, please.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, writers, next time don't cast Margot Robbie.
And say this line.
Yeah. If you're trying to prove a point here, don't cast Margot Robbie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just the whole beginning part.
Yeah, the
is
beginning's
so funny.
Yeah. Oh, the
'Cause
ladies
it's
behind
totally-
me, and the first time that I watched this,
Uh-huh.
they were loving it. They're
Yeah.
like, "This is so good."
Yeah.
It's like, "I remember having that house. I remember having that." And then like going down the slide, there's no water. Like it's just flat.
Yeah, and just them like pretending like to pour the drink and drinking it, and like the shower pretending. Like
Yeah.
I love all that stuff where it's like, oh yeah, this is like a kid playing with all these toys, and it's so funny.
Yeah.
And like the fridge when she's grabbing like the milk, like the back, like the main part of the fridge is just like a printed off piece of paper. Like there's like just like 3 shelves with like a few things, and that's it. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's a Barbie house.
The ambulance was pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
Where it just detached, and it was just like the doctor's office thing. And it's just
Well,
like,
even just like putting up like the X-ray stuff where it's like just pieces of paper that she like puts up, and she's like, "Yeah, it looks like you're all better."
it's like, yeah. By the time I finished the sentence, you were completely healed. It's like, wow, that's great.
I also just love like Ken being like, "Yeah, no one knows how hard like surfing is. It's not even my job."
He's like, I don't even work on the beach. I just beach.
Yeah.
Which is so funny when he's like going to apply for jobs.
Yeah,
and
in the
he's-
real world, and he
yeah,
goes
and
to like the
the
lifeguard, and
blonde-
he's like, "Can I just beach?" Like just, like I can't remember specific lines,
Well,
but
he's-
just them being like, "Yeah, I need a beach."
Well, he's
Like,
like
I need to
interviewing,
beach.
and he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna stand right here. And he's like, well, you gotta go save people. He's like, well, I'm not trained for that.
I don't know how to swim.
Yeah. He's like, no, I don't need to go out there. I'm here to beach. And then there was some funny little bits in that like whole portion.
Just them interviewing,
like,
or
well,
like him just running around.
just him
places.
running around like figuring out the patriarchy.
Going to the hospital and being like, "Can I talk to a doctor?" And the lady's like, "You are talking to a doctor." And he's like, "No, like a man one, like a real one." And she's like,
He's like, can you give me a clicky pen and a clipboard?
I'm trying to remember, like, I'm sure, like, this is, like, the classic line of just, like, any, like, doctor character, but just them being like, "Yeah, can I speak to a real doctor?" And it's like, well, no, like, oh, yeah, the 8 years of doing school feels real.
Oh, yeah.
like, oh, yeah, if I'm not a real doctor, why did my 8 years of doing school feel real?
Yeah. I liked him going into. I liked Ken going into the library, grabbing all these different books.
And just one, like, horse's book.
Yeah. And
Like, he's like,
he has
patriarchy. I was going to say guns, but he definitely did not grab
no,
one about guns.
no, he had one about war.
Oh, okay.
It was war. There was, I don't think it showed him grabbing a book about cars, but he said he got a book about cars. And then he's like, I've never felt so, like, I love the payoff sequence of, like, him being asked what the time was, and then, like, he has this little monologue of realizing how important he is as a man, and then him wearing 3 watches.
Well, I also love, like, even before that, like, when he goes into the school, gets the books, and walks out and sees the same lady, and is like, what does he say? Does he need to just say, like, "I feel so great being a man," or something like that? And she's like, "Oh, yeah, great. Let's go, honey. We're going to go this other way. We're not walking towards that, man.
Yeah.
Going away." So funny. And it's just, like, I just love, like, the childness of him, like, just his character.
Yeah. His innocence is pretty
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Like, I wish I didn't see Ken putting on 2 pairs of sunglasses, because that would
That is so good. Like,
um,
wearing one pair to, like, hide the emotions, but then another pair to, like, reflect Barbie and, like, being there for her.
Yeah. Well, one to shade his emotions, the other to look cool.
So funny.
I like his little monologue finding out. He's like, Yeah, once I found out patriarchy had nothing to do with horses,
I just gave up.
He's like, I wasn't interested anymore. And he's like, mini fridges are stupid. They don't even hold anything.
They only hold a 6-pack.
Yeah, he's like, I can't even fit a 12-pack in there.
So funny.
But I think we're just escaping the. Okay, actually, before we get into the best part of the whole movie, the Ken Beach off War of the Ages. Can we talk about Will Ferrell for a second?
Lord Business.
Yeah, where he's Lord Business in 2 movies.
Okay, someone was saying, which I'm so sad this didn't happen, but like, there's been a lot of people just being like, the drag queen Trixie Mattel, whose whole thing is like, her whole aesthetic is just Barbie, and she wears pink and wears blonde wigs.
Mm-hmm.
That's her whole thing, and she's named after Mattel.
Yeah.
But she was talking about how like she's not in the movie, and she's like, yeah, but then they're gonna have me promote it, which I'm totally fine with, but I'm mad that I'm not in the movie. But I've seen a bunch of TikToks of people like they're like still in the theater and the credits are going, they're like, where's Trixie Mattel? Like why isn't she here? But then someone was saying like they should have had her be like at the end of the movie she could have just replaced Lord Business and be head of Mattel.
Well, like thinking of it, other drag stars would have been great in this movie. Like RuPaul would have been insane.
No, this movie was made for Trixie Mattel.
I know, I understand that, but I think RuPaul would be funny to have. Like Trixie Mattel, I feel like is more niche, like versus RuPaul.
I feel like they're somewhat equal. Like I feel like Trixie is like one step below RuPaul. Like RuPaul, you only know RuPaul because of the show.
Yeah. Well,
even though Trixie won like I'm gonna say at least one season, I feel like there could be more.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But like in a general public, when people think of drag, they think of RuPaul.
Yeah.
So
and just RuPaul's Drag Race in general.
And I just feel like Trixie Mattel was just a big YouTube person, which is not as big as.
Which is funny because like she's only big YouTube person because she's kind of big.
In your world.
No, in the real world, I promise. But me and our sister Allie, we were talking about Trixie Mattel being in it, and she was saying like, yeah, I'm sad that she wasn't in it, but like, where would we put her? Like, would out of drag, like, would she just be a Ken, or like in drag? Like, it wouldn't make sense being a Barbie because like it's such like exaggerated makeup that like she wouldn't fit in as a Barbie.
I think it'd be funny that if Trixie was one of the of the
like
business people, like in the business area,
dude,
and then like after the whole Barbie rise, becomes like
drag queen.
Yeah, becomes drag queen.
Dude,
it would have been good.
I even sat here like, cause like in Coco and in what's it called? In Wreck-It Ralph, they had like DJs that like did music in the movie. I don't know about Coco specifically, but they had like cameos of those like DJs like in the movie.
Like Skrillex was a DJ in Wreck-It Ralph.
But like, cause that's like part of like what Trixie does. She does music, so it's like, oh, they could have maybe done something like that, like at like a dance party. They could have had her there. Well, didn't in drag or out of drag something.
Well, didn't they do that with Dua Lipa? Because Dua Lipa was in this movie, right? And
she's the mermaid.
Well, didn't she do a song also in this movie?
Yeah, she does like the main one on like TikTok, like the dance.
Or the dance one.
Yeah, Pink.
Oh, Pink is Lizzo, right?
Yeah, and then there's a lot. I love the music too. It reminds me of Birds of Prey, with like all the big songs in it. But like the dance part, like the dance party that they have, that's Dua Lipa's song. And then the end credits, and then I don't know if it's in the movie too, but Nicki Minaj does the song, like the "Oh Barbie, You're So Fine." No, not that song.
I think
different songs.
I think Nicki Minaj's song is towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, or it's the end credit, like the credit song.
I can't remember. But Yeah. Should we move on to the best part of the whole movie?
Yes.
Because we need to also get through these other movies because it's been a
Yeah.
long episode.
Yeah.
We might have to make this a two-parter.
We'll see.
Or we might put out both of them.
Mm-hmm.
At
It'll
the
be a
same week.
two-parter, but
We'll put them out at the same time.
yeah, I
Who
don't know.
knows?
We'll see.
We'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah. So.
Can we talk about Alan real quick?
Alan's great.
I love him. Also, there's been people talking about Alan just being like, kind of not really a non-binary stand-in, but like not like a Ken or a Barbie,
Well,
like
that's
just a
his
good
whole-
in between.
Well, that's what he is. Alan is Ken's friend. That he says the
Ken's
line.
buddy
He's Ken's friend who also
who can wear his clothes.
Yeah. He's like, I'm Alan. All of Ken's clothes fit me, and like, which is so funny because Ryan Gosling's clothes probably would not fit on Alan. But
He'd
I
just
think
be a little big. It's fine.
yeah,
I just love Michael Cera. This is so fun of him.
yeah.
He's the
I
best
can't
part
think
of
of
the movie.
I can't think of the last movie where I was other than like I'm trying to think of a movie.
He's been in recently.
Yeah, like something after Scott Pilgrim, where he's had this much fun. Well, he was Robin, and I think he had a lot of fun, but not as much.
That's funny coming from a Lego movie too.
Yeah. But I don't think. Yeah, it seemed like he had a lot of fun with this movie, and he has just that Michael Cera charm.
Yeah, and he's perfect as Alan. Also, at Weird Barbie's house, there's the dog that like poops.
Yeah.
I remember having that dog.
Oh, I remember. I think we still have that dog in the basement.
Yeah, we don't have the poop anymore, but
Yeah, I think our actual dogs ate them, or they got vacuumed up.
yeah, so we're just like little BBs, and it was
Yeah.
like I remember sitting there like, yeah, a kid could swallow this, and it would not be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I remember having that dog, and then there's like the two other like Kens that like got discontinued. I thought it was fun seeing him. I was like, they're not gonna bring him in, and then they did, and I was like, oh, cool. I love that.
I like that they had disgusting pregnant Barbie.
I love when Will Ferrell is like, it's Midge.
Yeah. I thought we discontinued you.
So funny.
What was it?
But yeah, I just love Michael Cera. He's so
He's
good.
And then I'm just like, this feels like Scott Pilgrim when he was just wailing on the entire construction group.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he commits this crime of battery, he hops back in the car and goes back to Barbie Land. He's like, well, okay, I just committed a crime.
But it's fun, like, because there's been people who have been like, yeah, I love that Michael Cera's here, and he's like he's not like part of the Kens, but he's like a man that's helping all the Barbies doing their thing because he knows that it's wrong. Like, he knows that the patriarchy is wrong and how they're doing the patriarchy is wrong. But yeah, anyways, back to the best part of the movie.
It's the moment after everybody's been riled up because at one point it's just like all Kens want is attention from Barbie, and all the Barbies are like switching spots, and then they're competing with one another. And
This
being
is like the...
this is they got like jealous
on
at
the
like
beach.
at the beach part.
Yeah. Actually,
And
there's a lot of beach parts when they're playing their guitars at the Barbies.
yeah, playing them at the Barbies. Such good lingo, such good wording. But yeah, what was it?
I love the whole conversation of like, yeah, when I say Kens, go. You like when I give the word Ken.
The night before where they're all talking. It's
yeah,
so
and
good.
they're like, but how do we know which Ken you're talking about? We're all named Ken. And he's like, you'll just know.
He's like, you'll know. And he's like, well, what if I want to say Ken's at 2:00? And he's like, well, that's because we're going at 10:00. He's like, well, that's pretty nice, so we can sleep in. And
it's not late enough.
it's not
too
too
early,
late.
not too late.
It's so good. Like, I've never felt so so confuzzled and dumbfounded. I'm just like,
us when we're planning on recording.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
So funny.
But yeah, best sequence, the choreography of everybody fighting each other with all these different like sports and stuff, and
Well, I also love, like, aren't some of them like pretend to, like, I can't remember if there's like actual arrows or if they just have the bows and they like pretend that they have arrows and shoot them.
well, no, they have like
Or-
the suction cup ones because
okay.
Ken gets stuck by one, takes it out and stabs another Ken with it.
It's so funny. I love it.
And then I like that him and Simu Liu,
I love how
they
they're-
just show off their pecs and it destroys a man.
Yeah.
It just destroys another Ken.
So good.
But like, I love that at some points you see like Simu Liu stabbing and you can tell that it's like caught between the arm and like the torso, and it's just like, oh no, I'm dead and whatever.
I love this movie so much.
Yeah, or like the horse that like the stick horse thing that everybody's riding in on, and it's all formed, and then at another point you see a Ken giving mouth to mouth to one of the horses.
Yeah. I sit here and I'm like, because I love that it's like the steak horses,
Mm-hmm.
but I also sit here and wish that it was like the dog. Like, it was like a plastic horse that they were riding.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely those, like, in Barbie.
Yeah. Which is funny because I think Barbies were more popular with horses than Kens
Yeah.
were.
Yeah, that's like, I feel like that's also just half of Barbie is like fashion, the other half is like horses.
Mm-hmm.
Or like quarter horses, and then the other quarter is like other like jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, yeah, this whole sequence is good though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then it turning into like the
Grease.
like the Grease dance off where, and then they all come together and like, we're Kens, we're great.
I'm just Ken.
Anywhere else I'd be a 10.
Anywhere else I'd be a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I love that song so
It's
much.
good.
It's so funny.
Like I've never wanted to buy a fur
coat?
a fur coat with joggers, boots, and then
Like
a
a leather
headband.
vest.
Oh, I don't need the fringe on there.
Why not?
Cause
It adds to it.
but I'll be wearing the puffy jacket with my rock hard abs.
It's true.
Yeah, wearing my sunglasses and headband.
Mm-hmm. Your
come-
2 sunglasses.
Yeah, with my bleach blonde hair.
I sit here and look at your hair and I'm like, how would that even look?
It'd look good. That's what it would. That's what it would look like.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this movie was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
I have my gripes with it, but it's like, I think it's like, will I watch this again? I don't know. Like,
I definitely will.
like I really enjoyed this movie, and I watched it twice. I watched it once and I had a lot of fun with it. The second time I had like a significantly like less fun, but still enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, the rewatchability for me sort of dropped.
Yeah.
But
I've only seen it the one time, so
yeah.
I can't really say. But yeah.
Go watch the movie. Go watch all these movies that we're going to talk about today.
Yes, please.
Yeah. You just finished the part 1 of our 2-part July recap episode. So go listen to our second part.